Have you ever wondered why so many people in America, the land of opportunity and dreams, end up filing for bankruptcy? In a country with a massive economy, high personal incomes, and a sophisticated financial system, you'd think most people would be financially secure. But every year, hundreds of thousands of Americans file for bankruptcy. It sounds ironic, doesn't it? But if we look closer, we'll see that bankruptcy isn't just about poor money management. It's often the result of a mix of life events, financial decisions, and a lack of preparation. Let's start with a familiar story. A middle-class family, decent income, owns a home, drives 2 cars, has 2 kids in school, everything looks stable. Then one day the husband is diagnosed with cancer. They have health insurance, but it's not enough. Medical bills start piling up. Treatments, medications, time off work, plus the rent, utilities, food, school fees, it all becomes overwhelming. They sell 1 car, drain their savings, max out credit cards. Eventually, they run out of options. Bankruptcy becomes their only way out. That's not just one story, that's reality for thousands of American families, every single day. Medical bills are one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in the U.S. Over 40% of bankruptcy cases are linked to healthcare expenses. When we're healthy, we rarely think about how one accident, one diagnosis, or one emergency room visit could wipe out our savings. Many assume their insurance has them covered, but even premium insurance plans often leave families with tens of thousands of dollars in out-of-pocket costs. And not everyone has an emergency fund to bridge that gap. Another major reason people go bankrupt is living beyond their means, a symptom of America's consumer culture. In the US, it's incredibly easy to get credit cards, auto loans, home loans, even financing for vacations, phones, and furniture. Buy now, pay later is everywhere. And when we rely too much on credit without considering long-term consequences, debt starts to snowball. Imagine someone with 3 credit cards, each with a $15,000 limit, all maxed out. They only pay the minimum each month, and after a few years the debt hardly shrinks, but the interest keeps growing. One job loss, one emergency, and the whole financial structure collapses like dominoes. Speaking of job loss, that's another huge reason people go bankrupt. You could be a skilled, loyal employee with a solid resume, but it doesn't protect you from layoffs, downsizing, or your industry becoming obsolete. Let's say an IT professional in California is making $90,000 a year, living a comfortable life. Then one day they get that dreaded email, "We regret to inform you." Suddenly their income is gone. They use savings for a few months, then start relying on credit. But if they can't land another job quickly, due to age, competition, or outdated skills, bills pile up fast. With rent in big cities often exceeding $3,000 a month, it doesn't take long to drown in debt. And we can't ignore student loans, one of the most devastating financial traps in America. Many young adults start their lives burdened with $30,000 to $100,000 in student loan debt. The idea is, go to college, get a good job, and pay it off. But that's not how it always works. Graduates working in lower-paying fields like the arts, social work, or education often struggle to make payments. Many can only afford the interest, not the principal. After 10 or 15 years, the debt barely moves. If life throws a curveball, a sick parent, job loss, medical emergency, bankruptcy becomes the only option. One young woman, 28 years old, shared how she graduated with a master's degree and $87,000 in debt. Despite working hard for 5 years, she saw little progress. When her parents fell ill and she had to financially support them, she had no choice but to file for bankruptcy. Then there's divorce, a life event that doesn't just break hearts but often breaks bank accounts. It may not seem like a financial issue at first, but divorce is one of the most financially destructive experiences you can face. Legal fees, splitting assets, paying alimony or child support, moving out, it all hits at once. Someone who once had $150,000 in savings might walk away with half, or less, after a divorce. And the debt? That doesn't disappear just because the marriage ends. If the couple had joint credit cards or a mortgage, both are still legally responsible. The financial chaos can quickly spiral out of control. Many end up declaring bankruptcy not out of failure, but simply as a way to start over. What all these causes have in common is this. Bankruptcy often results from a combination of personal choices, life circumstances, and a financial system that encourages spending now and worrying later. It's not always about being reckless. Sometimes it's just bad luck. And it can happen to anyone, regardless of education level, job status, or income. That's why we need to stop seeing bankruptcy as a personal failure and start seeing it as a symptom of deeper systemic and personal financial vulnerabilities. So what can we do? How can you protect yourself? Start by building an emergency fund. Aim for at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. Track your spending. Avoid relying on credit cards to cover everyday costs. If you already have debt, make a plan to pay it down, especially high-interest debt. Consider getting good health insurance and income protection if possible. And if you're married or planning to get married, talk openly about finances with your partner. Transparency today can save you both from massive pain down the line. Bankruptcy isn't the end of your story, but it's not a place anyone wants to be. Knowing the most common reasons people go bankrupt in America gives us a head start. It helps us make better decisions, build safer habits, and create financial plans that can weather storms. Because life will throw surprises at us, that's a given. But with preparation, discipline, and awareness, we can face those challenges without watching everything we've built come crashing down.